Hi everyone, it's me Guni, and you guys are watching on Learning for Life. Okay, so today is the last day that you have been allotted for your class 10th ICSE literature revision, and tomorrow is your exam. तो अभी मैंने 2-3 वीडियोस कुछ नहीं डाली बिकॉज आई वांटेड यू ऑल टू डू इट ऑन योर ओन. मैंने एक वीडियो डाली थी परसों फॉर द स्ट्रैटेजी कि तुम्हें कैसे कैसे कब कब क्या क्या चीज़ें करनी है. यस्टरडे मैंने तुम्हें पूरा दिन दिया ताकि तुम खुद अपना सिलेबस खत्म कर पाओ, एक बारी रिवीजन कर पाओ. एंड टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू जस्ट डिस्कस सम इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस जिनके तुम्हारे एग्जाम में आने के चांसेस काफ़ी हाई हैं. दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस दैट एक्चुअली मैं पढ़ के गई थी अपने एग्जाम से पहले. मैं ये नहीं कहूँगी कि ये एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चंस तुम्हारे एग्जाम में आएंगे, बट आई वुड रादर से कि इस डिस्कशन वीडियो से तुम्हें बहुत फायदा होएगा बिकॉज फर्स्ट इज you will get to know how to write answers. Second is obviously अगर इसमें से कोई क्वेश्चन आ गया बिकॉज चैप्टर तो वही है, सेंट्रल आइडिया तो वही है, तो this will help you a lot. Okay, so without wasting any time let's get started. तो हम chapter wise and prose wise सारा डिस्कस करेंगे. One thing I want to clarify in the starting only, हम यहाँ पे अभी हम start करेंगे with the poems first, और poems मीन्स पांचों के पांचों करेंगे. Then we will go on to the chapter which is the prose part, एंड ये भी हमारे पास 5 हैं, ये भी हम सारे के सारे करेंगे. When it comes to जूलियस सीजर में we have 5 acts, जिसमें से मैं 3 acts डिस्कस करूंगी. रेस्ट टू यू हैव टू डू योरसेल्फ. ये 3 acts कौन से होंगे? एक्ट 4, एक्ट 3 एंड एक्ट 5. ये 3 एक्ट्स मैं डिस्कस करूंगी. एक्ट 1 एंड 2 आई वुड सजेस्ट कि तुम खुद रिवाइज करके जाओ बिकॉज इन दो तीनों एक्ट्स में इंपॉर्टेंट स्पीचेस हैं जो मैं डिस्कस कर पाऊंगी. अगर मैं ये दोनों डिस्कस करने बैठी, दीज आर वेरी सिंपल कंपेयर टू देम, एंड अगर ये आता है तो यू हैव टू अटेम्प्ट इट ऑन योर ओन. अगर मैं ये भी डिस्कस करने बैठी तो इट विल टेक टू मच टाइम, जो कि तुम्हारा ही टाइम वेस्ट करेगा. सो आई वुड सजेस्ट ये तुम खुद से रिवाइज करो सेल्फ, एंड आई विल हेल्प यू विद ऑल दीज थिंग्स टुडे, राइट. और मैं काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस लाई हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं एक एक क्वेश्चन लाई हूँ सब में से. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. हम स्टार्ट करते हैं पोइम से. तो यहाँ पे तुम्हें पावर ऑफ म्यूजिक दिख रहा होगा. लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड विद दिस. मैं इसको ऊपर ले जाती हूँ, स्टार्टिंग से हम क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे. मैंने ये प्रॉपर तुम्हारा एग्जाम फॉर्मेट के हिसाब से लिया है. 4 क्वेश्चन ऑफ 3 मार्क्स एंड लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ 4 मार्क जो तुम्हारा आता है जनरली. ठीक है, सो जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकेंड. Let me get it to the normal size. Yes. So अभी हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं with the power of music. तो question number 1 extract पढ़ते हैं. He sings as though he's staked his life. He sings as though he's hell bent. The people dazed retire amazed, although they know it's well meant. तो first of all, I've been getting so many comments कि what are keywords, we are not able to understand what exactly are keywords. तो मैं तुम्हें बताती हूँ. यहाँ पे जैसे यहाँ पे the words like staked his life, hell bent, then dazed, retire, amazed and well meant, these are the keywords here. Also आंसर्स मैंने इन द फॉर्म ऑफ पैराग्राफ भी दिए हैं यहाँ पे, बट अलॉन्ग विद दैट आई विल ऑल्सो गिव मार्क कीवर्ड्स ताकि तुम इसको अच्छे से रिवाइज कर पाओ. ओके, लेट्स गेट स्टार्ट. सो क्वेश्चन है फर्स्ट, हु इज ही एंड व्हाट डज टेक हिज लाइफ मीन? व्हाई इज ही हेलबेंट? तो जनरली जो 3 मार्क का क्वेश्चन होते हैं दैट कम्स इन दिस काइंड ऑफ मैनर जिसमें 3 पार्ट्स होते हैं. ठीक है, तो लेट्स डिस्कस हाउ यू विल आंसर सच क्वेश्चन. Then, so direct forward, he is Bismalochan Sharma, an irrepressible character who is determined to entertain those around him without realizing that his singing is out of tune. The phrase, then now see, यहाँ पे फर्स्ट खत्म हुआ. Now what you can do is either कि ये तुम एक में लिखो, then change the line and do with this, or you can directly go as you wish. I would suggest changing the line over here. Okay. So the phrase staked his life generally means that someone is taking significant risk or is deeply committed to something, even to the point of risking everything they have included in their life. In the context of Visma Lochan Sharma, it refers to the unwavering belief in his musical abilities. He sings with so much gusto as if his life is dependent upon it. So, his life is dependent upon it is a very, very important keyword over here. Sharma is hellbent. Now, next question. So, change line or do as it. Because he is determined, okay, determined almost obsessively to prove his musical powers regardless of the reactions of others. Okay, so इसको मैं हटा दूंगी, underline करूंगी नहीं, because I am underlining only the keywords over here. This despite the fact that his obstinacy to perform causes great uh, discomfort to the listeners. तो यहाँ पे तुम अगर obstinacy का, जैसे दिस इज अ फैंसी वर्ड, नो कईयों को इसके स्पेलिंग नहीं समझ आएंगे इन द एग्जाम्स, कईयों को डिफिकल्ट होगा टू फाइंड सच वर्ड्स, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस यू कैन सिंपली राइट हिज अर्ज टू सिंग. ओके, राइट. Next question. How do the people and animals around him react to his singing? Now, इसमें मैं तुम्हें exactly keywords अच्छे से समझा पाऊंगी. So this is a great opportunity. See, the people around Bisma Lochan Sharma react to his singing with extreme discomfort and distress since it's largely out of tune. The reactions are exaggerated for comedic effect. Now, इसमें तुम ये भी लिख सकते हो, इट इज अ सिंपल एंड क्लियर यूज ऑफ हाइपरबोले. ठीक है. देन listeners flee, they are dazed, languish, pale and sickly. Animals panic, leading to overturning of bullock carts, and horses lying in the roadside and whine and stare with feet in air and wonder confounded. Even the fishes dive below the lake in search of silence while the birds in the sky turn turtle. So this is completely यहाँ पे मैं चेंज करके कलर तुम्हें कुछ लिख के दिखाती हूँ. ओके, दिस इज कम्प्लीटली रिकॉल बेस्ड. अगर तुम्हें वो पैराग्राफ याद है जहाँ पे उन्होंने सब एनिमल्स का बात की थी, तो दिस इज एग्जैक्टली दैट पैराग्राफ जस्ट कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ writing form. Okay, now let's move on to the question number C. Why is the singing well meant? Okay, why is the singing well meant? So the singing by Bismar Lochan Sharma is described as well meant because he genuinely believes in the value of his performance. His intentions are pure. He sings with full confidence, thinking that his music is impressive and enjoyable. Despite his lack of skill and distress it causes, Sharma has no malice or in ill intent. मतलब उसकी कोई गलत intentions नहीं थी. He sincerely wants to share his art with others, thinking it will be appreciated. The irony is that while his singing is meant to be good and uplifting, it produces the opposite effect, causing discomfort and chaos around him. Okay. Now, next question is the people, about the people. Okay. So, the people plead for their life in the poem. What does it show? So, the people plead for their lives in response to Bisma Lochan Sharma's singing. It illustrates extreme discomfort and agony they experience due to his performance, which is torture for their ears. The exaggerated reactions, such as begging for their lives, serves as humorous and satirical portrayal of just how unbearable his singing is. This also highlights the stark contrast between Sharma's overconfidence and his musical talent and actual painful impact it has on the audience. Okay, just a second. Painful impact it has on the audience. The exaggerated plea shows their desperation to escape the torment, emphasizing the absurdity of the situation and adding to the poem's comic effect. The next thing, if we see, is next question, which is this is the analytical question, जो कि तुम्हारा 4 marks में आएगा. Okay, so you have to actually think and write. The poem was a satire deliberately to escape the rigorous censorship of the press by the British administration before independence. Now you have to comment on it. The Sukukumar Ray's poem, The Power of Music, can also be seen as a clever satire. And you know what, from where you can answer this question? You can answer this question from your about the author part. बिकॉज वहां पे एग्जैक्टली बताया कि कैसे ब्रिटिश राज चल रहा था उस टाइम पे एंड ही रोट दिस पोम ओके सो subtly critiques authority using humor to mask deeper commentary. Written during British colonial rule in 1920s, the poem could be interpreted as reflecting the social and political tensions of that time, particularly the frustrations of common people under the oppressive regimes. The exaggerated portrayal of Bismalochan Sharma, who is under delusion that he sings very well, may symbolize, so there is symbolism that the arrogance of the oppressive British rulers. Despite the chaos, his strong actions create Sharma remain oblivious to the distress amount around him. Now see, it has very nicely told you कि कैसे it is shown, the poem has shown कि जो भीष्म लोचन शर्मा है that is basically the British rulers जो चाहते तो अच्छा था but they were doing wrong और उनको लोगों की प्लीज का कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा था. So see, despite the chaos his actions create, Sharma remains oblivious to the distress around him, much like how the British administration, in the eyes of many Indians, remained indifferent to the suffering caused by the repressive colonial policies. The people's exaggerated pleas for the just a second. Okay, yeah. The people, okay, we are above. Okay, yeah. The people exaggerated pleas for relief could represent the helplessness of the colonized subjects who were unable to openly criticize the government due to strict censorship laws. Ray's use of satire allows him to mock this imbalance of power, indirectly avoiding direct confrontation with the colonial authorities. By framing the situation as humorous, exaggerated musical fiasco, Ray could evade censorship while still delivering a pointed critique of figures. The poem thus acts as a subtle form of protest, using the comic absurdity of Bismalochan Sharma's singing to reflect frustrations of the colonial rule, all while staying under the radar of the British censorship. So this is how you are going to frame your question. You can use much easier language if you find that writing such different words is difficult, but you have to stay within your limits and you have to write what is needed. Okay. Now let's go to the question number 2. The welkin weeps to hear his screech, and the mighty mansions stumble. But now there comes a billy goat, a most sagacious fellow. So the question starts with whose screech is being spoken about? What is the welkin and why does it weep? So Bismal Lochan Sharma, the irrepressible protagonist of the poem, The Power of Music, is singing, and it is so bad that it is referred to as a screech. मतलब कोई तीखी सी आवाज जो तंग करती है. The term Welkin refers to the sky or firmament. The word is often used in older poetry to describe the heavens or the celestial spheres. तो यहाँ पे आपको वेल्किन का फर्स्ट उन्होंने दिया मीनिंग, लाइक वर्ड मीनिंग, एग्जैक्ट लिटरल मीनिंग. सो लिटरल मीनिंग भी दिया है इन्होंने साथ में हमें. एंड सेकेंडली it also gave metaphorical meaning. Metaphorical मीनिंग. ओके, तो आपको दोनों देने हैं अगर कुछ यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन में नहीं दिया हुआ तो. फर्स्ट लिटरल देन मेटाफोरिकल. Here the line, the welkin weeps to hear his screech, suggests that the sky itself seems to cry in the response to the harsh and unpleasant sounds being made in the name of music. It is a poetic way of describing the impact of disruptive noises on the environment. Now let's move on to the next question, which is what poetic device is used in the Welkin Weeps? Apart from this one, what a poetic device has been used extensively in this poem? Give two examples. तो अगर हम आंसर पढ़े बिना देखें तो हम क्या फाइंड करते हैं? It has given imagery in it. It has given hyperbole in it. It has given satire in it. तो ये तो मैं जनरल literary devices नेम कर दूं जो इस पोएम में तुम्हें जनरली मिल जाएंगे. तो द डिवाइस ऑफ पर्सोनिफिकेशन हैज बीन यूज्ड इन वेल्किन वीप्स. Apart from personification, the poetic device of hyperbole has been used extensively in the poem to highlight the exaggeration in order to introduce humor, satirize the character of Sharma and his thinking. For example, उन्होंने कहा example के साथ explain करना. So example, you catch his train on hill and plain from Delhi down to Burma is rather exaggerated geographical stretch and hence a hyperbole. Simply, the reaction of people to Sharma's singing is so exaggerated that they plead for their lives by saying, "We are going to die. Oh, you won't you stop your singing?" As if the singing is life-threatening event. Next question is who is Billy Goat and why he is described as a sagacious fellow. So Billy Goat is a male goat. It is referred to as a sagacious fellow, which means wise or clever, because in his wisdom he quickly recognizes the discomfort caused by the music and decides to leave the scene before it gets worse. Describing Billy Goat as sagacious is playful exaggeration, implying that Goat is smarter than the human audience, as he does something dramatic to avoid the torment of Sharma's voice. It adds to the poem comedic effect, portraying animals as wise enough to escape the unbearable singing, while people remain trapped in their suffering. Okay, now next question is how does Billy Goat show? Okay, show his sagacity because he is known as sagacious fellow. Describe what happens. So the goat shows his sagacity by downing its horns and charging straight at Bisma. So this is what he does. At the same time, it lets out loud sounds that compete with the singing. In this way, the goat confronts the chaos with its own assertive and strong response. The difference is that while others just reacted, the goats decided to do something about it. The result of goat's charge and the brutal violence that follows it, that strains of the song get disturbed, the music is personified as being tossed and torn into pieces. It creates impression of a violent and tumultuous scene where the power of music is challenged and taken on by aggressive goat, creating physical chaos. The end result is Bhisma Lochan Sharma's stops singing. The poet calls the silence and ensues as a golden gift which Bhisma grants to the world by stopping his singing. Thus, there is relief from the acoustic chaos that he had created. So, this is a very important question, I would say. अगर ये एक पोइम आएगी तो दिस क्वेश्चन हैज हाई चांसेस कि क्या क्या हुआ एंड व्हाट इज everything. Okay, so this question I would rather say to understand and learn nicely. Now, next is, do you think the title of the poem is appropriate? So this kind of question can be asked. This is important to see, and this can be asked for chapters as well. Okay. So the title of the poem, Power of Music, immediately suggests the central focus of the poem will be exploring the influence and the potency of music. By tilting the poem in this manner, Ray signals to the readers that they can expect an examination of profound impact that music can have on individuals, society, and even natural world. The title also hints at the potential for music to possess a transformative quality, capable of affecting emotions, perceptions, and even physical surroundings. It suggests that music holds a significant possibility, just a second, even transcendent power, which may be explored and celebrated through the poem. At the same, the title is deeply ironic because in the poem, the music is shown as disruptive force instead of having positive and uplifting effect. It has destructive power in the poem, making the Welkin weep and the mansions crumble. The ironic title adds to the poem's humor. It creates a mismatch between what we expect from the music's power and the chaotic reality of the Bismarck's singing. So, as you can see, here we have completed our, just a second, here we have completed two extracts from the poem, The Power of Music, and I hope it has helped you till now. The main idea of providing this kind of questions is to tell you how to write in exams. It is not important that you write the exact language in exam, but it is important that you try to write it, and it will help you to score great marks. It is not advised to write many attractive words, but it is advised rather to add simple language. If you cannot add these kind of attractive words in a answer, and still your answer can be very nice if you use simple language. Okay, now uh, from what I had prepared already, so we are done with the two questions, and if I see more, I actually have one more question from this poem, so we can do that question right now, which is question number 3. Okay, and then we will start with another poem. So let's do one more question from this poem. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Okay, he downs his horns and charges straight, with bellow answering bellow. The strain of song are tossed, just a second, and whirled by blast of brutal violence, and Bhismalochans grants the world the golden gift of silence. So, in which season would one hear Bhismalochans singing? Where would one hear his voice? One would hear Bhismalochan singing during the summer season. One would hear his voice on the hill, on the plains from Delhi down to Burma. Give one reason to conclude that Bhisma was passionate about singing. How did people react when they heard his song? He was not bothered about people's reaction and sang as if his life depended on it. So this is how Bhisma was. This shows how Bhisma was passionate. And when people heard his songs, they became dazed, languished, pale, stickly, retired, amazed, and begged him to stop singing. So this is a perfect example of what are keywords. So इसमें जो एक एक word लिखा है, that is keyword. So this extract I have added just to show that if you don't want to write the you know attractive words, so there are two types to attempt a question. Once that is in the answer 1 and 2. Second is this answer 3 wala. बिकॉज इसमें हम डायरेक्ट बात कर रहे हैं, उसमें हम थोड़ा लैंग्वेज बना के लिख रहे हैं. एनी वन इज करेक्ट. बोथ हैव देयर ओन प्रोज एंड कॉन्स. वैसे कॉन्स किसी के भी नहीं है, सो डोंट वरी. अगर तुम ऐसा भी लिखना चाहते हो, यू कैन राइट लाइक दिस एज वेल. नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल. How did animals react when they heard Bismalochan Sharma? The animals reacted. See, this question is repeated from the above, and now see how I have shortened the answer. The animals reacted quite weirdly on hearing Bismalochan Sharma's singing. The bullock carts overturned, the horses lined along the roadside, and whined and stared with feet in the air. In the aquatic world, fishes dive below the lake in frantic search of silence. So, this is the very good use of keywords. Again, I'm saying you can write like this or like that, like we have discussed earlier. Anything will work, it depends upon you. Now, question number D. Now, these two questions are important, so I would recommend seeing this. After reading the poem, give three characteristic features that you can associate with Bismalochan Sharma. So, Bismalochan Sharma is portrayed as a person with overconfidence in his musical abilities, who believes in his singing and has immense power. So, overconfidence. This trait is humorously exaggerated as his confidence is misplaced given how others react negatively to his performance. Sharma seems oblivious to the actual impact of his singing on his audience. Despite causing discomfort and chaos, his voice, he remains stubborn and completely unaware to the reactions of the singing. He continues to sing with gusto, reflecting his detachment from reality. Another feature of Bismalochan Sharma is he has his relentless persistence. Even when his audience suffers or tries to flee, he continues his performance undeterred. That adds humor to the poem. Now let's discuss the last question from this poem, that is, how did the world get the golden gift of silence? Mention two ways in which the music helps a person. So this is also an important question. The power of music. The world receives golden gift of silence when Bhisma Lochan Sharma, an overly confident singer, is attacked by a billy goat with his horns. As a result of his blast of brutal violence, Sharma finally stops his off-tune and agonizing performance and grants the world the golden gift of silence. Music, on the other hand, can have profound and positive effects on people, influencing both their emotional and mental well-being. Music helps a person by triggering the release of dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone and provides comfort. Listening to music can reduce stress, anxiety, depression, which is why physicians use music as therapy, helping patients to cope with emotional challenges, process their difficult feelings, or even aid in recovering from the trauma. Music also enhances creativity for many, even helps in focusing better. For many, listening to instrumental music while working or studying improves concentration, allowing them to dive deeper into the tasks. So here we are done. Just a second. Here we are done with our first poem, that is The Power of Music, and we have done it completely now. And now we can safely move on to the next poem. So you can see in like half an hour I have completed one poem, and I already informed earlier that this video is going to be a little longer than you would generally expect, because that is what I wanted to say, ki I am going to take full on done in this. So let's start with the next poem. Before that, just give me a 1 second break so that I can drink water, and then we can start. Okay, so we are ready. And let's start with our second poem. And the second poem we are going to do is, you can see over here, is When Great Trees Fall. So let's get started with this one. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, yeah, let's get started with this one. Okay, we have to go again. Okay, now let's zoom it into it a little bit so we can read it carefully without missing anything. Okay, great. Mm, great, great, great. Okay, just a second, everyone. Yes, exactly. Now let's start with this poem, that is When the Great Trees Fall. Okay, so let's read. When great trees fall in forest, small things recoil into silence. Their senses eroded by fear. So, question number one, what effect does the falling of great trees have on distant hills and animals in the jungle? The answer is that the falling of great trees has far-reaching impact both on nature and living beings. The rocks on the distant hills shudder, while the lions hunker or crouch down. Elephants lumber or walk slowly to safety. Second question is, explain in your own words the line from small things to eroded by fear. So small things recoil into silence and recoil into silence. Their senses eroded by fear. So small thing represents less powerful or small creatures. Their recoil signifies a retreat or withdrawal caused by a loss. A stepping back of sorts, senses eroded beyond fear, means the impact goes beyond just fear. Eroded senses suggest a state of numbness or overwhelming shock that surpass the normal response of fear. They are so affected, just a second. Okay, they are so affected um, that even their ability to perceive or comprehend is dulled. This imagery portrays the profound impact of a major loss on everyone, including those who might seem less affected on the surface. This loss is so significant that it disrupts their very being, pushing them beyond a state of fear. At human level, this could also mean that even small children feel the effect of the loss as much as elders. It symbolizes how people fall silent in amidst of despair. Their hearts become numb when they lose someone great. Now, sorry, just a second. Okay. How is one's memory affected by the death of great soul? According to Maya Angelou, memory when affected by death of a great soul grows sharp suddenly. One becomes acutely aware of the person and the relationship as the sharp memory focuses on regrets and the pains of missed opportunities. These memories, though precious, feel like a dagger to the soul. Now, next question is kind of important. What analogy does Angelo use to describe the death of a great soul? Give two reasons to show that this analogy is appropriate. In Maya Angelou's poem, the death of a great soul has been compared to falling of great trees. This metaphor serves to illustrate the profound, far reaching impact of losing someone influential or powerful. Angelo likens the death of such soul to collapse of towering trees, which causes widespread disturbance in the natural world, affecting the distant hills, the animals, the entire landscape. This analogy is appropriate because just as the fall of great tree shakes the earth and affects the landscape and the creatures around, the death of great soul causes ripples in the lives of those who knew them. The tree fall symbolizes how such a loss impacts not only immediate family or friends, but society at large. Angelo captures this by describing how distant hills tremble and small things recoil. emphasizing far-reaching effects of such departure. Great trees also represent strength, stability, and endurance. When they fall, it marks end of an era, just like the death of a great soul signifies end of a legacy or period of influence. However, the memory of tree like a soul remains shaping those left behind and leaving a lasting imprint on the world. Now, okay, the fifth question is trace the stages of grief and coming to terms with the loss of a loved one that Angelo describes in her poem When Great Tree Falls. So this is a little shifted, I would say. This should be question number E because it is the analogy based question, and this is question number D because this is from the poem. Okay, so you have to please bear with it. So that is the question which you can be asked for 4 marks. Okay, and this can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, so the stages of grief and coming to terms with the loss of vividly depicted through the metaphorical imagery in the poem. It begins with the shock element of suddenness of loss, where great trees fall, symbolizing immense impact of a loved one's death. The earth shakes, distant hills trembles, and lions and elephants behave abnormally, capturing the shock and disarray that death brings. This stage reflects immediate disbelief and disorientation that accompanies the loss of someone significant. As the poem progresses, Angelo describes how small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. This suggests an emotional retreat where shock gives way to denial or numbness and fear becomes overwhelming. In this phase, there's struggle to completely comprehend the magnitude of the loss. Next comes the stage of regret or remorse over promises that were not kept. There is a sense of loss as the souls shrink and minds fall away, emphasizing the emptiness and emotional void left by great souls. Departure, but finally the process of healing takes over and there is acceptance of loss and void. After a period, peace blooms slowly and always irregularly, but while there is acceptance, one does not forget the loved one with uh, loved one's positive influence. So with this, we complete our first extract of this poem. Now let's move on to the second extract. Okay. Okay, yes. Our memory suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on the kind words, unsaid, unsaid, promised walks never taken. Why is memory said to be suddenly sharpened? The memory of a departed one is sharpened as the mind becomes acutely aware of the person and relationship shared with him. The mind travels back to recall words that remained unsaid and promised of walks together were not kept. This memory of past is painful, and the guilt gnaws at their conscience, leaving them to regret it for a long time. What is said about the air around us as we hear the news of death of a great soul? When great souls die, the air around us, which is usually a source of life, becomes light, rare, and sterile. Sterile conveys lacking in warmth and life, and thereby its enriching quality and suggests a sense of emptiness and detachment after loss. The breathing is grief, suggesting that essential activity is not normal anymore. What is the impact on our eyes? Okay, eyes and clarity of thoughts. In an hour of grief, we see the world with hurtful clarity, which refers to the awareness of loss. The hurtful clarity implies that in the wake of significant loss, we become acutely aware of the finality of death and magnitude of absence, which is difficult to bear. The momentary insight provides us with realization of how interconnected we are with those we lose and the irreplaceable role they played in our lives. The clarity forces us to confront the truth of our loss, striping away any illusions or denial and making emotional weight of situation unavoidable. This poem was rather a personal tribute to Maya and by Maya Angelou. Explain. This poem was a rather personal tribute by Maya Angelou. So this is again from about the author part. Okay. Now, see. She wrote this poem in 1987 after the death of her friend and fellow writer and activist James Baldwin. The poem, which Angelo read at Baldwin's funeral, compares the death of great people to great trees falling in a forest. Just as those massive trees shake the earth and make animals crouch in confusion and fear, the loss of great individuals sent shock waves throughout the world. Eventually, however, people's grief and despair give to the invigorating knowledge that the world is a better place because the great souls once passed through it. Angela was enriched by her friendship with Baldwin, and she felt all these emotions as she healed from the loss. Now, this is the fifth question, which is important as marked over here as well. Okay, so is it possible for us to feel the way Maya Angelou does in the poem? Explain with an example. Yes, it is possible for us to feel the way Maya Angelou does in a poem. The emotions she conveys of grief, loss, and eventual healing are universal experiences. Losing someone who played a significant role in our lives can evoke a profound sense of shock and emptiness, followed by a slow journey toward healing and acceptance. For example, the loss of a beloved family member, such as a parent or a grandparent who has been a guiding figure throughout one's life, can be compared to the falling of a great tree. Initially, their death brings shock, disbelief, much like Angelou's description of how distant hills tremble and small things recoil into the silence. The world feels altered and unfamiliar without their presence. One may feel lost as if something foundational has been removed, similar to the great tree's fall. But as time passes, one begins to reflect on their life, legacy, and the wisdom they imparted. Eventually, one comes to the terms with the loss, finding comfort in the memories and the way they shaped who you are. One feels glad for having known them, though the pain lingers, peace eventually emerges, allowing us to move forward with their memory as a source of strength. Now, with this, we complete the second extract also from the poem When Great Trees Fall. And let's move on now to the just a second last extract from this poem, which is this. Okay, so this is the extract. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whispered to us they existed. We can be and be better for they existed. Why are these lines a turning point in the poem? These concluding lines of the poem are turning point because they mark a transition from grief and despair to hope and healing. Peace blooms as we make an attempt to walk on the path shown by the departed great souls. The realization dawns that we owe our current position to them and we can be better by following their ideals. The influence of great souls had left an indelible mark on our senses, altering our understanding of life for better. Explain the term we can be and be better. This line is the heart of the message of the poem. It points out that the great souls existed, therefore, we are empowered to live a meaningful life. We can be suggests that the potential for the growth and purpose. Be and be better emphasizes the transformative power of the presence. Their life inspires us to strive to be better versions of ourselves. The repetition of be puts emphasis on the idea of existence and implies that we have potential to make positive impact on the world by fully embracing our existence. What is, just a second, what is the significance of repetition? They existed in this passage. They existed is a powerful refrain, a way to hold on to the memory of person who impacted us. This is a testament to their existence and reaffirms their significance in our lives. The poet, by repeating the phrase, wishes to emphasize the fact that the great souls were not abstract figures by any stretch of imagination, but individuals who left a great impact on the world with their work. The repetition, therefore, reinforces the importance of recognizing and honoring the contribution they existed also conveys a sense of gratitude and reaffirms that their influence would continue to resonate after their death. Why would this sense never be the same? So this why would their senses never be same? This line suggested a transformative process. When great figures or great trees who symbolizes influential people pass away, their absence causes profound emotional and psychological shifts. This loss jolts our senses, leading to a period of disorientation, grief, and reflection. Restored indication that over time we begin to heal an initial shock and numbness begin to fade. But the experience of loss permanently changes us. We regain our capacity to engage with life, but we are never quite the same because the impact of person's existence and the subsequent absence leaves an indelible mark. Maya Angelou emphasizes the last effect the great individuals have on those left behind. Even though we move forward, the experience of their greatness and their loss reshapes our perceptions, understanding of the world. We see, we hear, and experience the world differently after such significant event. What does soothing electric vibration signify? How would you feel if you ever were to experience such a vibration? The phrase is a metaphor that suggests a powerful lingering energy connected to the great soul. The phrase evokes a deep, almost mystical sensation of connection and renewal. The soothing electrical vibration signifies a heightened awareness or realization that though the great person has physically left, their essence and influence remain alive with us. It suggests a sense of renewal and continuity, an acknowledgement that their legacy, despite the pain of their absence, they have left something behind that vibrates through our lives, that connects us to their memory, inspiring hope and strength. This could represent the memory of the person, which brings comfort so that it replaces the loss and the grief. If I were to feel such a sensation, I might interpret it as a powerful yet calming energy, something that revitalizes the spirit, offering a sense of comfort and reassurance despite the grief or loss that has occurred. It is a moment where healing begins, where one feels both lingering presence of the lost individual and the subtle transformative power that comes to the impact. Now, with this, we are done with our two poems. First is we are done with Great Trees Falls, okay, and we are done with our first poem which we did, okay. So we did was okay. I'm not even in the state of mind to tell. Okay, Power of Music. Yeah, we did Power of Music. Sorry for the inconvenience, but for a point, my mind skipped what I was saying. Okay, so before we move forward, I would like to say I am facing a little bit of issue right now with my computer where I am recording. So uh, we are done with these 2 points in this video. In the next video, which you will get in around 1 hour, वो चैनल पे साथ में अपलोड हो जाएगी। तो उसमें वी विल बी डूइंग द नेक्स्ट टू। ज़्यादा लंबी मैं वीडियो रख नहीं सकती वरना वो प्रोसेस होने में बहुत टाइम लगाएगी और तुम तक पहुंचने में टाइम बहुत लग जाएगा, बिकॉज इट इज़ नॉट लाइव सेशन। ठीक है, तो नेक्स्ट ये वीडियो ऑलमोस्ट 1 आवर की है। अब जो नेक्स्ट वीडियो आएगी वो भी ऑलमोस्ट 1 आवर की होगी। उसमें वी विल बी डूइंग द नेक्स्ट वंस, दैट इज कंसिडरेबल स्पेक हॉन्टेड हाउसेस, एंड आई विल डू द ग्लव एंड द लायंस ऑल्सो इन दैट वन ओनली, ताकि तुम्हारी 2 वीडियोज में तुम्हारे ये जो पोम्स है वो कंप्लीट हो जाए। नाउ बिफोर आई एंड दिस वीडियो, आई हैव अ वेरी समथिंग important to tell you all. So I wanted to show you something. So just give me a second so I can show you exactly what I wanted. Okay, where is it? I kept it here or something, I guess. Okay, yeah, here it is. I wanted you to show my phone and tell you what is the time right now. See, let me turn to the place. Okay, see the time right now, if you can. Okay, I have moved it to here. It's, you cannot see the time exactly. Wait, let me show you. Let me turn on the clock and then I can show you time. Well, clock, yeah. See the time right now when I'm recording this. It's 4 in the morning. It's 4:08 to be precise in the morning. And I'm recording this for all of you because I know you are dependent on me. You are like seeing me as your guiding light right now. So it's 4 in the morning and I'm done with the first video which I'm recording, and I'm going to record furthermore to complete all the things that are, just a second, what is this in the, okay, yeah, this is the, okay, huh, so that are left here. We have done 2 and we are done. Rest of these are pending right now. Just a second, this closed. Okay, so these are everything that we are going to complete. And okay, so I just wanted to show you this, that even though it's not my exam, I am uh, wake uh, till this point of time, and I'm not going to sleep anytime soon because I have to record for almost all the videos for all of you. But I just wanted to say not to lose hope, because you know what, I also have an exam the same day you have your, and I'm recording this video right now. Then I have to study my own as well. I have to record few more videos for all of you because I know you are counting on me. And I just wanted to say that do not lose hope. Uh, there is a song that I used to hear from the starting of 2025, or starting of my 10th class. Like in between my 10th class, I heard the song and it just felt so. I decided to listen to it regularly, and I have heard this song many times throughout the year. But after the class 10th, I just forgot about it. I just never looked back on it because it is kind of very emotional for me. But today I opened up my diary of class 10th. I call it the magic diary because उसमें बहुत कुछ था मेरा जो मेरे को बहुत हेल्प किया जिसने क्लास 10th में। एंड उसके लास्ट पेज पे भी ना मैंने वो गाना लिखा हुआ था। तो व्हेन आई ओपन दैट टुडे टू हेल्प ऑल ऑफ यू, तो मुझे वो गाना याद आया। सो आई वॉन्टेड टू शेयर बिकॉज इसने मुझे बहुत हिम्मत दी थी, तुम्हें भी देगा। तो मेरा गला तो खराब है और वैसे भी मेरी आवाज़ बिल्कुल अच्छी नहीं है कि मैं तुम्हें गा के सुनाऊंगी, बट स्टिल एक लाइन है जो मैं बोल के सुना सकती हूँ। फिक्रों में है क्या रखा, बहुत गंदी आवाज़ रहने देते हैं, मैं लिख देती हूँ गाइस क्योंकि मेरी आवाज़ बहुत गंदी है, तो मेरे कान के पर्दे फट जाएंगे। तो इट इज, फिक्रों में है ओके, जस्ट अ सेकंड टू चेक कि तुम्हें पूरा दिख भी रहा है या ओके। इट सेज फिक्रों में है क्या रखा, कोशिशें तो कर सदा, इतना ही है काफी अभी। सो डोंट स्ट्रेस ओवर व्हाट योर आउटकम विल बी, व्हाट योर रिजल्ट विल बी। जस्ट गिव योर बेस्ट, डू योर बेस्ट, and that's enough. That's enough. That there's nothing more you can do, right? So I'll see you guys in the very next one within an hour. ये वीडियो अपलोड होगी अप्रॉक्स 12 PM पे. So I'll see you again by 1 PM today. तो गुड नाइट, टेक केयर. गुड नाइट तो नहीं बोलूँगी, गुड नाइट तो चलो नहीं हो सकती. So keep learning, keep learning, and give your best. All the best. I know you will do great in your exams. Love you all and see you in the next video जहाँ पे हम डिस्कस करेंगे the rest of the points.